Midterms, my guess is if the Democrats take the House, all these memos will be subpoenaed.
Yeah, to what effect? Well, it takes 2/3 to impeach a judge.
Well, but it's important to have the transparency and to find out exactly what happened.
Cows out of the barn, milk spilt. They got a Supreme Court judge right in the middle for the rest of his life. As I said, in worst case scenario, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm reporting by the FBI is reporting that the FBI could be wrapping up as tonight. Today, Senator Mitch McConnell indicated it will not be made public. In other words, this report's coming out at midnight, but nobody's going to get to see it except 100 senators. See if that stays secret. Go ahead.
We'll get an FBI report soon. It'll be made available to each senator, and only senators will be allowed to look at it. And that's the way these reports are always handled.
How much time do you plan to give senators to read and digest the FBI findings before you hold the vote?
It shouldn't take long. They'll read it as quickly as they can, and but that'll not be used as another reason for delay, I can tell you that.
Does anybody know how they deliver this little package of joy? I mean, they deliver the message to each senator. Most senators rely on staff. They're not like House members. They rely on staff. They've got an executive assistant. They've got a chief of staff. They've got all kinds of communications people. And they sit down with their peeps, and they figure something out.
It'll be on
and then
Twitter
rip it up after and put it in the burner. Chuck, do you really believe that the Democrat or the Republican leader thinks that he can keep this, he can sequester this document with 100 senators looking at it?
Seems unlikely, Chris, but on the other hand, that is the protocol. You don't release these things publicly. At least the FBI does not. The FBI treats it confidentially. If the senators can't do that, then shame on them.
Suppose the report comes out, Mr. Chad Ludington says he drank too much. He was a real heavy drinker. On the other hand, Chris Dudley says he never saw him drink too much. Do those accounts both show up in the report, and they leave it to the senator to say whether they believe Dudley or Ludington?
What the FBI will do is interview whoever they interview and write up a report of the interview. They're not going to conclude that one's telling the truth and the other is not. They're going to simply say, here you go, Chris. This is what they said.
Well, suppose they think one of them is lying. Do they say that?
We don't put in our reports of interview what we think. We put in what we are told.
Well, how about a person who gives inconsistent testimony and doesn't? It seems wobbly.
That goes in.
You say that? Yeah. Wobbly testimony?
We don't.
How about
okay,
Mark Judge? Do you think that's going to be coherent?
No, he said X, and then 7 minutes later in the interview, he said Y.
Cynthia's right. You don't characterize it. You report.
How about I ask him whether Bart Kavanaugh was Brett Kavanaugh or not? And he said no. You actually typed that up as a serious response?
Yep.
Did anybody see Maverick? It was Brett and Bart Maverick. I think I know where he got the idea. Anyway, meanwhile, the fate of Judge Kavanaugh's confirmation most likely comes down to a few undecided senators. Let's listen to what some of these key people have to say today.
The FBI is doing its investigation. We need them to do their investigation. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait to see what comes back.
Can I ask you, though, if it turns out Kavanaugh lied about any aspect
that finishes everything. I was very troubled by the tone of the remarks. The interaction with the members was sharp and partisan, and that concerns me. And I tell myself, you give a little leeway because of what he's been through. But on the other hand, we can't have this on the court. We simply can't.
Well, as we used to say in Philly, the big five, Gene, and the big five are these: two Republicans, three Republicans, and two Democrats.
That's the big five that we know of. I mean, and you know, there are other Republican senators who haven't had a lot to say about this nomination all along. One presumes they're
you think Corker's in play
inside the fold. I have no reason to believe that he is. It's just that he hadn't talked a whole lot. Tim Scott hasn't talked a lot. Shelley Moore Capito hasn't talked a lot.
She went to Halton Arms. She went to Halton Arms.
So, you know, one assumes, well, you have to assume they're, you know, inside the tent unless they're not, right? And we don't know.
And there's more than two Republican women, there's Capito and there's Deb Fish. Anyway, thank you. Cynthia Axne, Chuck Rosenberg, thanks for your expertise. It's great to have you. It's desultory, by the way, when you tell me. It's desultory news. I'm not confident the FBI can buck this president because they don't have to.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.